Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I wanted to share with you guys a Snickers inspired chocolate cake, and it's just as good as it sounds. So we're going to be making moist, delicious chocolate cake layers. We're going to fill the inside with marshmallow cream, caramel, and salted peanuts, and we're going to frost the cake with a caramel chocolate frosting. Today I'm going to start off the recipe by preparing the chocolate cake layers first, and you'll need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to start my cake batter by combining all my wet ingredients first. So we're going to add 2 large eggs into a large bowl. And to this I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I also have a 1/4 cup of softened butter. I'm going to give all of this a really good whisk. Next, I'm going to add 1½ cups of white granulated sugar. I'm also going to be adding just a pinch of salt. It's about 1/8 teaspoon. And now for my dry ingredients. So I have 1 1/3 cup all-purpose flour. I have 3/4 cup of dark cocoa powder, and I also have 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to combine everything together, and then we're going to be using a fine mesh strainer to sift it into our cake batter. You want to sift in a little bit at a time and just whisk really well after each addition until everything is really well combined. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I also buttered, floured, and lined 2 8-inch cake pans with some parchment paper. And now we're just going to divide our cake batter evenly between the 2 pans. And we're going to place this into the oven, and we need to bake the cakes until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean, and you'll see the top will just become nice and set. Once your cakes are done, you want to remove them from the pans and place them onto a cooling rack and let them cool completely. Now I'm just going to take a long serrated knife and just even off the top a little bit so I have a really nice and flat cake to frost. And now for our chocolate frosting. So today I'm going to be using 4 sticks of butter, and I've softened these to room temperature. I'm just going to add them into my mixer bowl here. I'm going to whisk these on high speed until that butter is really light and fluffy. Once your butter is really light and fluffy, you can add the rest of your ingredients. So we're going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to add about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add 1 can, so this one has 14 ounces, of dulce de leche, which is a cooked condensed milk. I'm going to add it right in. Next, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of dark cocoa powder. I'm also going to be adding 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to add a little bit at a time until my frosting reaches the consistency I want it to be. Now the powdered sugar is optional since the frosting is already pretty sweet. I'm just adding it for the consistency of the frosting. And now for our fillings. So today I'm going to be using a jar of marshmallow cream, and then for our caramel and nut mixture, I'm going to be combining 3/4 cup of caramel sauce with 1 cup of salted peanuts. You just want to take a spoon and combine this together, and we're going to use it to fill the inside of our cake with. And now we're ready to assemble our cake. So I've placed my first cake layer onto my cake platter. I'm going to top it with some of my chocolate frosting. I'm going to use a flat spatula and just spread it to the edges. Next, we're going to add our marshmallow cream. So I'm just going to spoon out some right on the top. And it's a little sticky, so just work with your hand and your spoon and kind of spread it out evenly across the top of the cake. I transferred some of my frosting into a pastry bag, and I've lined it with a star tip, or you can just use a plain tip. What we're going to do is we're going to create a barrier ring of frosting so that our peanuts and our caramel doesn't leak out of the sides. You just want to pipe a ring along the edge, and we're going to dump our peanuts and our caramel sauce right into the center. I've topped my cake with my second cake layer, and now we're just going to frost the outside. So I'm going to add some right on the top, and I'm going to use my long spatula and seal off the middle. So you just want to spread that frosting between the cake layers here. And if you see it running, you could just smooth it out with your frosting. Today I'll be doing 2 layers of frosting. So this first layer is what we call a crumb coat, and that's just going to seal everything on the inside. It's going to seal the crumbs. So after you apply an initial layer of frosting, you want to take the cake and place it into the freezer for about 20 minutes so the outside can set up. And now I'm going to give my cake a second coat of frosting and just even everything out, smooth it over the sides, over the top, and then our cake will be ready to be garnished. Just going to pipe a little dollop of frosting. We're going to top these with chopped pieces of Snickers. And now our cake is all done, and I'm going to let it set in the refrigerator until it sets completely, and then we'll come back and give it a try. I'm just going to take a wet paper towel and clean up the edges. And now our cake is all done. So ideally you want it to set in the refrigerator overnight just so all the components can really come together and so that for that caramel sauce to set up. And now it's time to give it a try. And it looks so great. I'm going to try to get some of the marshmallow cream, some of the peanuts, caramel sauce. All right. Absolutely delicious, and it tastes just as good as it looks. It really does invoke memories of my favorite candy bar. I absolutely love Snickers, and this is the perfect Snickers cake. Those really rich chocolate cake layers, and combined with that marshmallow cream, the caramel sauce, the salted peanuts, everything combined together tastes absolutely delicious. You guys are going to love this recipe, especially if you're looking, for a really fun recipe. This is the cake for you. This is also really great for like a kid's birthday party. I'm sure the kids are going to absolutely love this. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video recipe. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then if you make this cake, you can share it with me on Instagram, or you could follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and I hope to see you guys next time.